Okay, let's look at the do you know how, starting with question 4. Crystal is comparing two internet service plans. Plan 1 costs $34.99 per month. Plan 2 costs $134.97 every 3 months. If Crystal plans to stay with one service plan for 1 year, which should she choose? How much will she save? Okay, so let's start with plan 1. So I'm going to label it clearly, plan 1. And when I go back and read, it says that it costs $34.99 per month. So I'm going to write that as a fraction. So $34.99 for 1 month, right? That's already a unit rate. But I want to figure out how much she would pay with that plan if she was going to have that plan for 12 months. Well, to go from 1 to 12, I'm simply multiplying times 12, and so I'm going to do the same thing on the top. So when I put that in my calculator, $34.99 times 12, I get $419.88. So under plan 1, Crystal would pay $419.88 for that year. Now let's talk about plan 2. And I'm going to give myself a little bit more room here, if I can. There we go. Okay, so plan 2. We see that it costs $134.97 every 3 months. So we're going to use that information to write a fraction. So $134.97 every 3 months. So again, I don't need to find a unit rate here. I just need to know how much is it going to cost for 12 months under that plan. Well, to go from 3 to 12, I'm simply multiplying times 4. So I'm going to do the same thing on the top. And I'm going to multiply $134.97 times 4. And when I put that in my calculator, I get $539.88. So plan 2 would cost Crystal $539.88 in 1 year and 12 months. So which is the better plan? Well, obviously, the one where she's going to spend less over 1 year's time is a better plan. So plan 1 is the better option. So plan 1 is a better deal. Now we also are asked how much will she save. So in order to figure out how much she will save, we're going to take $539.88 and subtract $419.88 from that. So $539.88 minus $419.88. And you can do this by hand, or you can put this in your calculator. Either way, you'll get the same answer. You'll get $120. So how much will she save? She'll save $120. Okay, moving on to number 5. Pam read 126 pages of her summer reading book in 3 hours. Zach read 180 pages of his summer reading book in 4 hours. If they continue to read at the same speeds, will they both finish the 215-page book after 5 total hours of reading? Explain. So let's start with Pam. So Pam reads 126 pages in 3 hours. So I'm going to use that information to write a fraction. So 126 pages in 3 hours. So I really need to figure out what is her unit rate. How much is she reading in just 1 hour? And so to do that, I'm going to divide by 3 on the top and bottom. So 126 divided by 3, when I put that in my calculator, I get 42. So I know that Pam is reading 42 pages in 1 hour. But We want to know, will she be able to finish the book in 5 hours? So now how do I go from 1 to 5? Well, I simply multiply times 5. So I'm going to do the same thing on the top. So 42 times 5, when I put that in my calculator, I get 210. Now we know the book is 215 pages. So will Pam finish in 5 hours? No. So let's go ahead and write that. Pam will not finish in 5 hours. She'll get really, really close, but she won't quite finish. Now let's talk about Zach. Okay, so Zach reads 180 pages in 4 hours. So I'm going to use that information to write a fraction. So 180 pages in 4 hours. And we need to figure out what is his unit rate. How many pages does he read per hour? So I want my number of hours to be 1. So to go from 4 to 1, I'm simply dividing by 4. So I'm going to divide by 4 on the top as well. 180 divided by 4, when I put that into my calculator, I get 45. So Zach is reading 45 pages per hour. But I want to know, will he finish a 215-page book in 5 hours? So to go from 1 to 5, I'm multiplying times 5. So I'm going to do the same thing on the top. 45 times 5. When I put that into my calculator, I get 225. So Zach is able to read 225 pages in 5 hours. So will he finish the 215-page book? He sure will. So Zach will finish the book in 5 hours. So Pam will not finish it in 5 hours, but Zach will. Okay, last one, number 6. Nora and Eli are making homemade spring rolls for a party. Nora can make 8 spring rolls in 10 minutes. Eli can make 10 spring rolls in 12 minutes. If they each make 40 spring rolls, who will finish first? So let's start with Nora. So it tells us that she makes 8 spring rolls in 10 minutes. But we want to know how long it will take her to make 40 spring rolls. So how do I go from 8 to 40? Well, I simply multiply times 5, right? So I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. So 10 times 5 is 50. So she'll make 40 spring rolls in 50 minutes. So Nora will make 40 spring rolls in 50 minutes. Okay, now let's talk about Eli. Okay, Eli can make 10 spring rolls in 12 minutes. So 10 spring rolls in 12 minutes. But we want to know how long it will take him to make 40 spring rolls. So how do I go from 10 to 40? Well, I multiply times 4, right? So I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. And 12 times 4 is 48. So Eli will make 40 spring rolls in 48 minutes. So the question is, if they make 40 spring rolls, who will finish first? Eli will finish first. Okay, so for homework, I want you to answer questions 7 through 12 on page 93. Bye, y'all.